I do so wish I could be with you in person tonight to place a small part in this tribute to Marilyn, who was an inspiration to me, but more importantly, a very dear friend that I love very much. To say that Marilyn was a force of nature doesn't come close to describing her. I first met her in the mid-70s at the first Island Art Fair. We were exhibitors and hadn't moved into our first house that Wayne and I had just purchased on West Jefferson. She asked if we were interested in being a part of Ledgecraft Lane, having a little shop where we could sell the men's neckties that I made and Wayne's copper trees intrigued me. Moreover, Wayne's brothers all had creative natures that I thought could help bind the larger family together. Marilyn, for her part, was excited just to get rented out that big room in the front. Her first encounter with a crew of trink lines was when they traveled from Wisconsin, Indiana, and Missouri to construct the shop. Of course, it was only about 15 minutes into the project that they rejected the thoroughly discussed and modified board-approved plans and headed off in 4 different directions. About 3 hours later, Marilyn came to inspect. She said she just wanted to see how things were going, but we all know she was checking up to make sure that we were following those approved plans. And of course, she was dismayed. But it was nothing compared to what came next, as she was listening to why the plans had to be changed. An 8-foot wooden board kicked back from the table saw that they had hauled into the shop and knocked out the entire front window. We were all taken aback, and I think it is the only time that I saw Marilyn's mouth drop open and she was without words. But it was the beginning of our friendship and collaboration on countless projects. We worked together on the Island Art Fair and nearly everything that had to do with Ledgecraft. We were a sounding board for each other. Well, mostly Marilyn had to tame down some of my ideas. But it was an incident that happened at one of the Island Art Fairs, which is still raised with fondness at nearly every gathering of the now 70-year-old trink lines, that epitomizes Marilyn's unbounded willingness to do whatever it took to get things done. After we had somehow cleared all the crafters off the island without killing anyone on the 1-lane vehicle bridge, I came upon the sight of Marilyn speaking into one of these flexible plastic PCP pipes, standing right next to Wayne in the driver's seat as of his old pickup, with one of his brothers in the passenger seat and the others in the flatbed. It was a rather comical sight. Marilyn standing right next to Wayne, talking through the tube to him and his German male chauvinist brothers. You know those old school Germans. The last thing they want to do is take orders from a woman. By the time I got there, Marilyn was handing him back her end of the pipe and was off to check on something else. As I approached, I asked, "Well, now what was that all about?" And he explained that she wanted them to take back the big grill we had borrowed for roasting hot dogs to sell at the food concession right then, instead of later in the week when Wayne wanted to. And they told Marilyn they couldn't hear what she was saying unless she talked through the pipe. And she was hesitant. I mean, who wouldn't be? But relinquished and spoke through the brown pipe to the man right next to her. I just shook my head. And then Wayne started up the truck, and I asked where he was going. And he said to take back the grill like Marilyn wants. It was Marilyn. She did whatever, including talking through a pipe, to get things done. More than all the projects we collaborated on, she was my dear friend and I loved her. She inspired me whenever I would become very weary and tired. I looked at Marilyn. She had boundless energy. Her life was her community. And I learned from her how to get things done in the man's world of 30 years ago. I will miss her more than words can possibly express. But I do have this image of Marilyn speaking through a PCP pipe to God, and he is saying, "Yes, Marilyn, I'll get to that right away."